Welcome into Training Camp Insider, presented by Gregory Industries. Nathan Zegura, and oh, baby, we have got, some would say, a Hall of Fame cast today, because there he is. The Hoff says it right there on his hat. You know it must be true. Joe Thomas, and of course, Browns living legend Bernie Kosar. And Hoff, you were out here, got to see the guys in pads, and earlier today, you're running O-line meetings. You're out there with the guys. What's today been like for you, and how good was it to be back around the guys?
It was so great to be out here. I mean, you know, Bernie, like as a player, you get an opportunity when you get older to really be a mentor, to coach some of the guys up. And that coaching, that teaching really gets in your blood. And then obviously I was in Germany last year doing the whole deal as the head O-line coach. And so I really missed being out on the field, smelling the grass clippings, being able to give some wisdom to the guys. And so getting an opportunity to do that again today was awesome. I was filled with joy today.
Filled with joy, his cup runneth over, and we're going to talk about your time with the O-line in a second. But Bernie, what did you see from the quarterbacks today? Because Dillon Gabriel now, he also is nursing a hamstring injury. Kenny Pickett nursing a hamstring injury. They didn't do as much, although both participated in 7-on-7s, and the 1-on-1s made some good throws. But Joe Flacco, again, the bulk of the reps, and he continues to impress you with how effortlessly and artistically he throws the football.
He throws the ball for his 18th year in camp, trending towards 41 years of age. So artistically beautiful, it makes me jealous. I didn't have that in my repertoire. And from a quarterback perspective, as you and me talked about a little bit, Nathan, earlier, and me and Joe were talking about just earlier, the running game and being able to have the play action game and being an awesome offensive staff we have, but excited to have Joe Thomas back working with the line and Dawand Jones, because that will help our quarterbacks implement into the system and I think be more effective right now. And we kind of need that with the way our DBs have been really squeezing our wide receivers right now.
Yeah, and in pads again today, so you got to get some real O-line work and O-line D work happening way on the far side. Unfortunately, that should be front and center, should it not, Huff? But not the case. But what did you see out there today? This is an O-line group, a lot of veterans, obviously, on the starting unit, and then Dawand Jones kind of moving into that left tackle role. But you saw firsthand, this is a very deep and very good defensive line that they get to deal with every day in practice.
Yeah, the O-line, even though they got a lot of veterans, they got their hands full every single day because the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns is extremely deep. And obviously it starts with Myles Garrett, the guy that nobody in the NFL, maybe nobody walking on the face of the earth in history can consistently block. So you have to be able to manage that guy on the outside. And obviously when you're running training camp practices, you're not scripting chips, you're not scripting double teams to be able to handle them like you would in a game. So guys got to step up. Guys got to be able to hold their water and be able to just at least hold Myles off enough so you can get a look at what the play is supposed to look like. Everybody's supposed to be able to get to their spots then. And I thought the offensive line had a nice day. They did a good job handling their guys when we were down there in one-on-ones. I know you didn't get to see it, but we saw some good reps, especially from that second group. Because that's a big question for me, because you know that at some point you're going to have some injuries on that offensive line. Who's going to be that next tier that's going to be able to step in and pick up where those guys left off and hopefully not lose a step when you do have those injuries and you need to make some switches on the offensive line?
Yeah, because those guys are the ones that have to protect the quarterback. And obviously this quarterback competition is still in full force. The Browns will travel to Carolina tomorrow, have a joint practice, the first preseason game. We don't know the availabilities of Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel for that game, so that will be interesting. But we did see today, Bernie, some situational football. And this is a team that it kind of feels like is going to win close games when they win. You're going to play that great defense and then get special teams involved. And we saw Joe Flacco set up a 51-yard field goal for Dustin Hopkins. He put it through the uprights, and then Shedeur Sanders with the twos. Overcame not one, but two false starts to get a field goal for this backup kicker Schmidt that went right through the uprights. But those situations, so big, and it's good to see old and young execute there.
Yeah, we saw the old and the new today, and the phrase that was taboo of managing games, of complementary football, is really how I was raised, and I proudly talk about that. And that's what I see our Cleveland Browns being able to do. And when you see the running game and having that ability to play offense with your defense and then get in field goal position like that, whether it's the veteran 18-year Joe Flacco or Shedeur with a sore arm he didn't throw this weekend, to come out and make plays like that, it's fun to watch.
Huff, when you have a situation like this where you get this padded practice today, day off, travel day, joint practice, day off, game, day off, does that allow kind of the players' bodies to kind of reset and allow, or hopefully, I'm sure the coach want to see, give everything out there, because you know you have a built-in recovery day every day this week?
Yeah, it's great to be able to know that tomorrow I can take care of my body, get back to close to 100%, and be ready for the Carolina Panthers. That's huge because
Is that how you did training camp back in the day?
That was not quite exactly. We got those
The Joe
days off,
Thomas
you know, in
training
the
camp.
season, maybe on a Tuesday if we were lucky. But
Recovery days.
Times are a little bit different these days. But I think the important thing is to understand, like, you have to practice with an intention to be doing everything as fast as possible to be able to improve. It's just natural. Like, for your body to adapt to your situation, you have to push yourself. And if you're always tired, you're never able to hit that last gear.
Yep.
So I think it's great to be able to recover your legs, recover your lungs a little bit, give yourself an opportunity with your central nervous system to be able to recover so that I can go full speed, give everything I have, make a big jump today, and then go ahead and do it again in Carolina when the stakes are a little bit higher there when you're having a joint practice against another NFL team.
Now, one thing you came in at today, you did not see over the weekend. For the first time in a Kevin Stefanski training camp, there was live tackling. We had a period last week, and then on Saturday, a 22-minute period of live tackling. You see it says hard and tough. Is that what on the back of your shirt? You got that
Yeah,
tough and
hard and-
competitive.
Yeah.
They got hard and toughness, all of that.
We're building calluses right now.
What does that tell you, though, about this camp and about just what this Cleveland Browns football team wants to be? In his first 5 years here, never had a live tackling period. We've already had a couple this year, including a marathon one on Saturday.
It just points to the difference that this team is going to be over where they were last year. Last year, the focus was emphasis on throwing the ball down the field. This year, like Bernie said, hey, we're going to try to ground and pound. We're going to get back to the Kevin Stefanski we saw in the first couple years where we're running those outside zones, those inside zones. We're pulling those guards. We're trying to smash the ball right up the middle of the gut against the defense to open up some of those play action shots down the field, which makes everything easier for the quarterbacks. And it makes everything way easier for us on offense because as an offensive line, I know, hey, all I got to do is smash this dude into the ground and it becomes a war of attrition for the entire game because by the time the fourth quarter comes around, that dude's already tapped out. He's on the sideline. Now you can get those big chunk plays in the passing game.
Yeah, that's what you're the marriage of the run and pass. You got to get those good runs, make everything look the same, then that play action, hit those shot plays. But you can't do that without good protection. And nobody protected the quarterback better than this man right here, first ballot Hall of Famer, the Hoff, Joe Thomas. Well, we've got a new left tackle this year, Dawand Jones, and he is a big man with a lot of talent and the desire to get better, and the Hoff taking him under his wing this week. And Hoff, you got a chance to talk with Dawand earlier today. Let's check that out.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Dawand Jones, Browns left tackle. So excited I got a chance to work with you here this week and try to impart a little bit of wisdom. But first things I want to know is what were some off-season highlights for you?
You know, I'm a big NASCAR, IndyCar guy, so ended up going to the Indy 500. I went to up to Michigan for a race, and then I went to Mid Ohio for a race as well, and also Texas. Those was my little stops I made, and just went out and checked out some of the races.
So you're kind of like a NASCAR groupie, like you just follow them all around the country, like a little super fan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I love seeing cars go fast. I have a fast car myself.
Really? What are we driving these days?
I drive a Hellcat. And
so you drive it from the back seat, obviously, because there's no Hellcat that would fit all 7'8" of you.
Sometimes, yeah, I'll just let somebody else drive. But,
you ever seen that movie? What is it, Blue Chip, where they like take the front seat out for the guy?
For Shaq,
they build it
for Shaq, yeah.
So we've almost got Shaq out here at left tackle. Very blessed, the Cleveland Browns. So you came into training camp in really good shape. That was one of the things that people were talking about, and it's obviously a big deal. As a bigger guy, it's been hot, it's been humid. You got to be in really good shape for training camp. So what was some of the things that you were focusing on this offseason to make sure that you were ready to take over that left tackle spot?
Just my diet, that was the main thing. Also, lean body mass. Me and Kelsey, which is my nutritionist, worked really well this off season. That was the main part. It was just, getting that down packed. And if we can just, get down to less calorie intake and, just get more body mass and, more lean fat. And so I think that all helped out towards this season.
So playing against Joel Bitonio, now that you're playing on the left side, he was a guy that I was lucky to be able to play with for a number of years in my career. And he's put a lot of pelts on the wall, a lot of All-Pros, a lot of Pro Bowls. How does it help you as a guy that's transitioning to the left tackle for the first time, being able to play against an old head who's got a ton of experience and a ton of great play behind him?
I think the main thing is his feet. I love watching his feet. They're just nonstop buzzing. And I think that's the main thing I'm trying to figure out right now on the left side, just continue to buzz my feet. And, Joe does a great job of it. And I just love the way he does it. And it reminds me of basketball, being a basketball guy, and he also kind of is a basketball guy too. Yes, he's a little bit older, hasn't played in a while, but he is a basketball guy, and you can see it right there in his sets, and I just try to take that and implement it into my game.
So the offensive line room, you've got 4 old heads as starters, and the mix in the room and the chemistry is always different every year. What's the chemistry like, and how does everybody's role fit in this year's offensive line room?
I'm more so kind of like the young gun vet-ish, so, I'm kind of like in the middle, but, I kind of try to sit back, take notes, ask questions as many as I can, just knowing that, like, I'm not a rookie no more, like, don't be afraid to ask questions or a second-year guy, but, this is your time, you need to ask these questions, get them down pat. I think it gives me more comfortable going into games, stuff like that.
Absolutely. So the fans are wondering, what should they be able to expect from our offensive line this year?
Tough, competitive, and, as Coach says, hard and toughness. And so that's the main thing.
And we're hearing a lot about maybe a little bit of a switch on offense, right? Obviously, last year before, Kevin Stefanski was trying to run an offense that was a little bit more in the shotgun, a little bit more pass heavy. And now they've said that they're going to go back to what Kevin was doing when he first got here, a little bit more under center, more of the outside zone play action, the pin pulls, the crack G's, things of that nature. How do you like this offense, and how do you think it fits with the guys that we got on offense?
It feels just like my rookie year, when we had that spark of just we could run the ball whenever we wanted to and nobody could stop us. And, when we get that going, it is, as a lineman, it's the greatest feeling ever. And so I feel good, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's setting us up for the right direction.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Dawand Jones, for being with me today. I'm excited to be around you all week, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching you this season. So thanks for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hoff, it looked like you guys had a lot of fun there with that conversation. I got to sit here and listen to it, and, it's one thing to have those words, to turn those words into actions. What did you see from Dawand today, and so that he can be that protector of the quarterback on that blind side?
So I feel really lucky. I get to come out here with the O-line, get to work with Dawand for a couple weeks, but offensive line is about doing a million things a million times to become proficient at something. So I don't believe that I'm going to be able to come out here for a week and all of a sudden change him into a Hall of Famer in 3 days. But the main thing I'm focusing on working with him is helping him build a process, helping him build a way that every day he can measure himself and make goals to be able to improve a little bit, 1% every day, so that by the end of training camp, he's going to look back and, wow, I'm 20% better. It builds confidence. It turns you into a better player. And then once you have that process, you can always lean back on that when things are getting tough, when you're facing that adversity. And so one of the things we were talking about is just the stance and the little details that he needs to use with his feet and where his toes are turned. And it was awesome because the first thing we did when we came out here, I saw him working on that. He was intentional. And I think that's one of the things that maybe, Bernie, you can tell us, but as rookies, they go out there, their eyes are this big. They're swimming because the playbook's 5 times bigger than they had in college. And they're just trying to survive the practice rather than being intentional about working on certain specific things.
Yeah, I love how you said and used the word purposeful too. And again, not trying to be a homer or biased, but I've had the great opportunity to be with Dawand Jones on the field and off the field. I love him as a person and his intensity. And for you to be coaching him, I believe, I'm not putting the pressure on you, you can make a big evolution in how he foundationally learns the process of being a pro. I actually believe young players, sometimes we think too much, and that slows down our athleticism. And with him working with the awesome Joe Thomas and our coaching staff, and then him being in year 3, I believe his mental approach is going to really understand this. The running games and play action is so suited for him that I actually think this is the bandwagon to jump on, brother.
Yeah, baby,
brother
let's
Thomas.
go now.
Well, listen, when he came into the league and was thrust into action very, very early in his career, it was T.J. Watt, it was Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons week 1 last year, and he's got great tape against the very best in this league, so he knows he can do it. It's about becoming consistent, and for him, it's kind of retraining your body. It's not the right side anymore. Now it's the left side.
And that system was more the kind of running game, play action then, and we actually really liked him in it. The struggling came in last year's stuff when it was just throw the poor tackles on islands against those same fierce pass rushers.
Worked hard on his body, as you guys talked about, in great shape, and that's certainly going to help him. But how would you say that transition, for people to kind of give them a perspective on what that really is like? You've been a right tackle your whole life. Now you're going to go play on the left side.
It's like throwing the ball with the other hand. It is something that it has to change your mind and your body because everything is flipped. It's not probably quite as hard as playing quarterback with the other arm.
No, the way you do that drop step, it is way harder than people imagine.
It's
for
really
timing.
tricky, but I will say, though, that just like anything on the offensive line, repetitions make perfection. And so 3 to 4 months of playing on that side, it becomes natural. And that's where you're starting to feel where it's normal. It's like for swimmers, they talk about feeling the water and just being comfortable in the water. You're a water polo guy back in your day. You understand, like all of a sudden when you get those reps in and you get into that flow state, you're able to just feel things and then you're not even thinking about what you're having to do because it becomes natural. And he's just at that phase right now, and you're starting to see him feeling more comfortable at left tackle.
I'll tell you this, one of my favorite moments in Cleveland Browns daily history, and there are a great many, was when I asked you the simple question, what did you think about as a left tackle
That
from
was
the
a
time
bad
the play
question.
was
We don't have enough
called?
time for that.
From the time the play was called until the time the ball was snapped, and you talked for about 30 minutes. So when you talk about working on the process, you certainly can give Dawand Jones a checklist and a process to go through to give him success. And now that's important because he's protecting the blind side of the quarterback. And so we go from the youngest star on the offensive line to the oldest quarterback in the room, Joe Flacco. He was mic'd up. Let's hear what the venerable veteran had to say.
What's up, fellas? Tonight. Tommy's rushing me. You're like, balls out. All right, man, get these feet down. Tonight. 180! It's not! It's not! 180! Yeah, you're good. That was good. Good job. 180! 180! It's not! Look at it, not! What a catch! Holy!
Good?
Holy, bro! What a grab!
I caught that literally off the side of my leg.
And you stayed up.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I just started running like.
Yeah. 180! What's it on? Kind of had to come around like when you ran it off your guy and there's a little underneath drop. It was perfect, man. 180! What's it on? Hey, way to go, man. Way to run. Dude, that was perfect. When you see that look, no, you have a little bit of time. Like, get the f over there. You know what I mean? You beat him in touchdown, just like it was.
QB's on 3. 1, 2, 3.
QBs.
It's always great to hear from Joe Flacco and Bernie today. Again, a couple more wow throws for him. One into a very tight window to Jerry Jeudy with Denzel Ward draped on his back on that deep kind of inward cut there, that square in. And then the one to the sideline that you love, the 17-yard comebacker where he gets it up about 7 feet over the slot defender and right to Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, his accuracy on, again, for an 18-year veteran, trending towards 41 years old, to throw that deep comeback 7 feet near to Deontay Johnson on a rope like that, massively impressive to watch. Really looking forward to Friday night. We know what Joe Flacco could do, but seeing the younger quarterbacks and Kenny Pickett, if possible, with these injuries, the competition and competitiveness of Carolina, it's great, but the competition of quarterbacks, it's really only when it's live, the threat of death of Joe Thomas not making that block, and this being a Carolina guy. So seeing how the guys are calm and cool under pressure, I'm looking forward to see Friday night.
All right, so you're going to get your first experience traveling as a team this year. You're going to go to Charlotte. You're going to get the joint practices on Wednesday. How valuable are those? And these are things that are, kind of more in the modern NFL, right, where you're getting together, having these joint practices, but getting to see another defense, getting to see another front, a front that really doesn't know your plays, your tendencies, your tells, all of that. How valuable is that, and what do you hope to see the Browns and specifically your offensive line accomplish in Charlotte?
What's your first measuring stick, right? You're going against Myles Garrett every day in training camp, which that's not a good measuring stick because everybody loses to Myles.
Yeah.
So you're going against some top quality talent. But like you mentioned, they're not seeing you every single day, so they're not taking advantage of knowing you inside and out. So it's a bit more of a fair matchup, and you really do have an opportunity because you could look good out here or you could look bad out here, but now you're going against another team that's running a different scheme, and you're attacking them the way you would in a bit more of a normal game where it's not a scripted play every single time you get out on the field. And so you really get a better idea of where we are, what are the things that we need to work on, what are the things that maybe we do really well and we need to maybe work on some more because that's going to be our identity when the season comes.
All right, now I know you didn't get a lot of work in the preseason. No need to see the Hoff. Just put them in bubble wrap and get them out there. But for the young players, quarterbacks, non-quarterbacks, this is a rookie class that's going to have a big impact, from Mason Graham and Carson Schwechner on the defensive side to Harold Fannin, who I think has been phenomenal so far, Dylan Sampson, and then, of course, those young quarterbacks. We're going to need contributions from those guys. This is your first chance under the lights. A lot of these guys are gamers, right? And so this is that opportunity. What are you looking forward to seeing most of all in the preseason game on Friday as you make your return to the booth?
Don't talk about it, be about it. Hey, you tell me you're a gamer. Let's see it. Like, this is your opportunity. Hey, you're in a big stadium. It's a game. You're going against another color jersey. This is where I want to see you rise to that occasion, where it's beyond just the things that you've been coached, where it's now you're making natural ability plays that you've been doing since you were a kid because you love football, you play football your entire life, and now you're going out and you're a gamer in those big situations.
When was the last time you did get a preseason snap? Can you remember?
Oh boy.
Rookie season, maybe?
No. So we played a lot more in the preseason early on in my career.
The third game was that dress rehearsal.
It was a while. I was probably wearing short pants at the time, maybe. Definitely kidless. It was early 20s.
Very a calm Hoff.
Yes.
A quiet household for the Hoff
That's
there.
right.
All right, Bernie, preseason opener. What do you want to see against Carolina?
So I really want to see no injuries like everybody talks about, but I do like being the quarterback who plays. So seeing the quarterbacks in their live situations, seeing how they handle themselves, and from a QB perspective, just trying to make some plays. And when you don't play a lot, sometimes you try to do too much in a given quarter or series. So if I was the younger quarterbacks, yeah, I want to see them play, but I would caution them to just try to play within themselves.
I want to see people that are competing for jobs on this roster grab that job, make movement so that when you come back next week before we go to Philly, there is a change in the reps. And obviously at the quarterback position, you want somebody to just grab that quarterback job by the throat. Now, we don't know with the injuries, Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, if they'll have that opportunity, but whoever does get the opportunity, go out there and seize it, just like Dawand Jones right now, seizing the nuggets of information from the Huff. All right, we're going to travel tomorrow, then we'll be back Wednesday. Training Camp Insider coming to you from the joint practices in Carolina. So certainly look forward to that for the great Bernie Kosar, the Hoff, Joe Thomas. I'm Nathan Zegura saying thanks again for watching Training Camp Insider presented by Gregory Industries.